this little story starts in a far-away magical land where rules don't apply and they're more of like suggestions than actual laws. And of course, I'm talking about America here. Once again, another American banger has just hit the world. And I recently made a video about something. It's basically the same story, but it just gets worse and worse. The recent video I made was Netflix's acquisition of Warner Bros. Studios and all of its properties. However, something just happened, which is somehow worse than Netflix acquiring Warner Bros. I kind of compare this, what is happening right now, to like some little Mesozoic era creature crawling out of its hole after a harsh like ice age, and then seeing the fucking comet come down on him just to wipe out half of the entire species on Earth. Because I think that is the closest comparison here. For anyone who doesn't know, Paramount has now just placed a hostile bid versus Netflix's $86 billion bid to acquire Warner Bros. Paramount just placed a $108 billion hostile takeover bid, which for anyone who doesn't know, that just means they're paying the shareholders directly after they've already agreed to a different deal. The deal between Warner Bros. And Netflix is theoretically already been decided by the shareholders, but Paramount says, yo, you like money? And I mean, we know the outcome here. Now, the strange part about this entire story, and there are many strange parts, is that Trump is involved somehow in this, which just makes it so much weirder. And I'll name the main actors in this entire saga, just so when I name drop them, you guys know who they are. We have David Ellison, which is the son of the second richest person in the world, formerly the richest person in the world before Elon Musk, founder of Oracle, Larry Ellison. We have David Ellison and Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is the dad and the super rich CEO. Then we also have Donald Trump, and we have the CEO of Netflix. These are the four musketeers of this story of absolute buffoonery. Let's start this at Netflix. Now, we all know that Netflix wanted to acquire Warner Bros. Studios, and before acquiring it, he went to Trump personally and said, yo, so I'm thinking about, taking over Warner Bros. And creating an entire monopoly. And to that, on record, Trump says, you are a great American. That sounds like a good idea. Not verbatim, but the great American part is verbatim, but the rest is just like, he was happy with the decision of Netflix taking over Warner Bros. Then, after Paramount makes a bid, a hostile takeover bid for $108 billion, suddenly, when Trump is asked about Netflix and the Warner Bros. Situation, he says, I've never heard of it before. So, that's strange. Because he just had a meeting with the guy a day ago. And then the day after that, he says, oh yeah, of course I've heard about it. He's one of the best friends, it's a good idea. And then on the same day, later that day, he tweets, this is a terrible thing, it should never happen. It will create a monopoly and that is not good for America, which, leave it to Trump to actually say something smart for once. But the reason why he's against Netflix's monopoly is a reason only Trump could find. And it is because the person wanting to buy Warner Bros. Instead of Netflix, which is Paramount, again, David Ellison, which is Larry Ellison's son, owns Paramount. He's willing to buy it. And who is Larry Ellison very good friends with? No, it is not the New York financier. Well, it is the New York financier, but not the one you're thinking of. It is Donald Trump, which, same thing. But they're very good friends. They have been for a while. They have just, before presidency and after presidency, they've met a bunch of times and they've cooperated on a bunch of projects. He also has a bunch of government funding. Now, you might be wondering, why would Paramount want to buy Warner Bros.? And if you know anything about economics, you'd also be very confused about Paramount buying Warner Bros. Because, let me put this in a way you'll understand. We have Warner Bros. that has a bid for 108 billion to buy them out. And then you have Paramount making that bid. The problem is that Paramount currently, the entire net worth of every single asset they own is priced at 15 billion. So you might be like, where are they getting this money to actually make this bid? Who would have thought? It's coming from his super rich daddy, Larry Ellison. And it's also coming from some Saudi princes and oil. It's coming from some oil money in the West, in the East. Depends where you live, I guess. In the Middle East. And also, there's the third group of investors, but it's not important. Anyways, they're sourcing it, and it's going to be all money. The problem with Netflix's deal is their 86 billion isn't all in money. It's also partially in Netflix stocks. Again, I'm getting off the entire main thing. I don't want to be too economical with this entire rant. The main problem with this is if Paramount acquires Warner Bros., and this is not just what Netflix wants, which is the main IPs of Warner Bros. Paramount's acquisition of Warner Bros. Is everything that Warner Bros. Owns, which includes all the news networks, all the historical networks, every single TV show, MTV, Nat Geo, CNN, CBS. All of these are Warner Bros. And Paramount. Let me just paint a little picture here. What happens when one of Trump's best friends' son acquires a monopoly over every single news networks, in exception for like Newsmax and Fox? I don't know. I can't even see a correlation here. Surely he only has good intentions for the American people and is trying to stop a monopoly from happening. So now we have a decision to make. And this is truly the asteroid after the Ice Age that I was talking about before. You can either, not you can either, because we don't have a say in this decision whatsoever, which is also why I chose that analogy. You don't have a say, but you have two options, two outcomes here. Either you get all of your IPs ruined by Netflix directors, or Paramount buys it, and all of your news is bought by one political party, and you cannot get any reliable news from any big news networks. Hooray! I'm so happy to be living in 2025. It is truly one of the greatest years to have ever yeared in history. I don't know how else to say it. And it just shows how truly fucked up the situation is, man, because either situation is bad, but I think we have to choose the lesser Satan of these two, which obviously is Netflix having a monopoly and you getting overpriced shows. Because at the end of the day, if Netflix takes over, at least you can still pirate these things. If Paramount takes over, your life is just gonna be worse. The news will literally, like actual dystopian novel type shit, the news will be bought up by a single family that will control it. And not only will the news be in that family, Oracle, which is the biggest AI, again, he's the second richest person in the entire world. He owns every single AI server farm in America. He will be controlling AI, which is used for search engines to look things up, and his son will own all of the news. Truly, this is like peanut butter and jelly. They go together if you ever want to make a dystopian novel. And then, of course, the president, the most powerful person in the world, being friends with the richest person, and him himself also being super rich. It's so beautiful. I don't even think you could make these stories up 4 years ago. Genuinely, no one would even believe you if you said this was going to happen 10 years ago. No one would believe you, because it is such obvious textbook dictatorship that they would think you're making a parody. They would think you are making a joke of America, but sadly, it's doing it itself, and either way, whatever happens, I'm hoping for the monopoly instead of the complete fucking 1978 oppression stuff. So, 1988? What's that fucking George Orwell novel? 1978, 19 something, man. 18? No, it's 19 something. I don't even have a positive message for the end of this one. You're fucked either way. So, start praying, I guess. Maybe he'll answer. You can only fucking hope. As always, see you guys. Have a great day. Oh yeah, also forgot to mention, they also own TikTok. So TikTok is also going to be under their control. Yay! Okay, bye-bye.